92.5, 96.5.
Real country.
Don't look so sad. I know it's over, but life goes on, and this old world will keep on turning. Let's just be glad we had some time to spend together. There's no need to watch the bridges that we're burning. Lay your head upon my pillow. Hold your warm and tender body close to mine. Hear the whisper of the raindrops blowing soft against the window, and make believe you love me one more time for the good time. I'll get along. You'll find another, and I'll be here if you should find you ever need me. Don't say a word about tomorrow or forever. There'll be time enough for sadness when you leave me. Lay your head upon my pillow. Hold your warm and tender body close to mine. Hear the whisper of the raindrops blowing soft against the window, and make believe you love me one more time for the good time.
Listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston, on your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Central Hudson reminds you that summer thunderstorms can strike with strong, gusty winds, knocking down trees and power lines. If you see a downed power line, call 911 immediately to report it. Power lines can carry an electric current strong enough to cause injury or death. Stay at least 30 feet away from a fallen line. Don't try to move it or anything that has come in contact with it. And never drive over a power line. Remember, your safety matters.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed, support causes that matter, change lives, change communities, change the world. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
Hi, I'm Ruth Quick from the town of Ulster. I support Kingston Community Radio, and you should too.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Flash!
Ba-ba-ba-boom!
All right, man. It's
a slow roll this morning.
Yeah. Take it easy, baby. Take it easy.
Take it easy. Take it
easy. See, your father was a music teacher, and my father was a rag dealer. I don't know how that.
A rag dealer.
He's a rag dealer.
Really?
I swear to God.
All his life?
All his adult life after the war. Yep, his uncle was in the rag business. And he got into the rag business, first in Mount Vernon, then moved up to Fishkill. It's like one of the first Italians in Fishkill. So, and persecuted, by the way. Persecuted Italians.
As every group was that came here.
It's like after World War
II.
By
the way, as every group was that came here,
yeah. So, all that, the stuff you give to Salvation Army and Goodwill.
They would come around, right? They would actually come around to the houses.
Back in the day, they would do that. I mean, as it got a little bit more developed, people would take stuff to places and get tax credit or whatever, and then he would buy it from them, make these 1,000-pound bales, and then ship it to like Europe, Mexico, any place where they needed clothes. It was. Isn't
that interesting?
Yeah.
See, to me, the rag dealer is the guy with the rag man is the guy with the cart that would come around and sell rags to
change a little bit
homes and businesses.
But rags is kind of like a misnomer. It's like I never bought a pair of jeans until he retired in 1981.
So he's collecting up these
donated clothes,
paying the organization,
Salvation Army,
right.
And then he resells them. So he buys it for 10 cents a pound and sells it for $1 a pound.
What?
That's
called innovation.
Yeah.
A will to succeed. Find
Absolutely.
A business where none exists.
And it's a blue collar business. I work there because trying to push around. Oh, there's
ultimately he has a warehouse or whatever.
Yep. Big warehouse where there's bins of clothes. Yeah. Well, it's a bygone profession now. I mean, because mostly all that stuff gets shipped overseas now because it's so cheaper to provide labor and to do the labor for it. But yeah, when the kids used to ask me, two things. One is they thought I was in the drug business. My dad was in the drug business. It was like a cover-up for it. It would put drugs in the bales, these 1,000-pound bales. And then the other was I told him I was in my dad was in the because I grew up in IBM territory. And, my dad works for IBM. He's a six-figure guy. Yeah. And my dad is a rag dealer. I said, no, he's in the export business.
In the export, he was in the export business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the last time, and I
your dad's in the mob, huh? Yeah.
we took a trip down to because he had a big client down in Juarez in Mexico, and so we went down. It's the first time I was ever in a plane. And I think we flew into El Paso and took, back then, this was like...
a donkey cart.
Donkey cart into Mexico. It was, burned in my brain. I think I was 13, 14, and saw sights that a 13 or 14-year-old probably shouldn't see.
Yeah.
But, it was a plane ride. It was cool. It was with Dad, because my mom died when I was young. I was 12 or 11 or 12 when she died. So we went down to El Paso, hopped into Juarez. He did his transaction. We came back. Boom. And so, again... keeps the myth going.
There is more. You are, Tony Marmo, you are a book that I have not finished reading yet. That is so interesting to me. I didn't know your mom passed when you were young.
Yep.
That's another whole... Is that what brought you into the healthcare field?
I was supposed to work for IBM down in Poughkeepsie.
You're too cool for IBM, bro.
I was way too cool. And St. Luke's offered me 50 cents more an hour. Instead of $4.50 an hour that IBM offered, they offered me $5 an hour. So I went with the $5 an hour job in St. Luke's Hospital, and that's how I started. But, maybe I was supposed to...
rose through the ranks from $5 an hour to
whatever.
CEO?
I think so.
That's very cool. No, that's a success. So it's an American success story.
Yeah, and my father.
I bet your grandparents were immigrants. Were they?
Oh yeah, came from my
grandparents were immigrants.
Came in 1905 on an arranged marriage. My grandmother was Italian, but she was born in this country. Her family had immigrated over previously, and they made a deal back in San Rufo, Italy, and said, Anna, you're going to marry Antonio, and my grandfather's brother came with him, flew over or took the boat.
Yeah,
wherever
they
the
didn't
hell
fly.
They didn't fly back then. Yeah, those Italians
they
didn't fly.
floated over, bro.
Yeah, God bless. They didn't. Yeah, they floated over on a big.
Floated over on a big.
So because they were afraid, my grandfather was going to beat it once he got hit. So because my
put the rope on him and brought him over, gave him to Anna.
Antonio, here you go, baby. Marry him up, and then Uncle Mike went back to Italy, and the rest is history. They had 4 kids, and all blue collar workers, hard workers, and entrepreneurial spirit. Which is kind of where I got that from in terms of always wanted to own my own business. Got hooked up in the healthcare field, but. That's the whole capsule.
While we listen to these entitled, whining rats from the woke movement. You're woke? Do us a favor in America. Go back to sleep.
How about working?
Please. Go back. No, go back to your nap. You're not woke. You're not woke at all. Go back to your nap. You're ruining our country. People like your grandparents.
Right, came over, busted their ass.
Parents.
My grandfather could not read or write.
Right.
Only Italian.
They built this country.
Right.
They built this country.
Exactly. And the Irish have similar stories. The Germans have similar.
The Polish, the Germans, the Jews,
all those immigrant
Italians,
similar.
The Lithuanians, the Russians.
They lived in squalor.
They escaped the failures. Of socialism,
right, in those countries,
and came here to work under the democratic republic system,
right, exactly,
which succeeded fantastically,
right.
And now we're snatching defeat from the jaws of victory and giving it back to a bunch of whiny puss bags, entitled, whiny. Social, never worked a day in their lives. Go back in your parents' basement, smoke some pot, and eat some Cheetos, will you?
Right.
Please.
And I'll tell you, a lot of the Italians in this community worked in the brickyards. They had nothing when they came from Italy.
They all worked in the brickyards.
They all worked in the brickyards. That was the job. And the poverty in southern Italy and Sicily, and they said, Kingston, New York, you can get a job, you have a place to live, and look at the success stories from then, from the 20s and 30s, work their asses off. And so, I have very little tolerance for that stuff. I mean, I'm socially pretty, I have a few more standard deviations than you do in terms of.
Oh, yeah, you're left of me. I know that, bro.
Right.
I know that.
Right. But I'm still from the generation that I saw my grandparents, my parents work super hard, hard labor, not like suit and tie stuff, hard labor. And so I get it.
As you know, I married into the Spada clan, who I consider my family. I love them dearly. They accepted me, an Irish kid with no record. I had no record of success for them to say, welcome to the family. They took me anyway.
You could probably sing O Sole Mio, though.
I go, O Sole Mio.
And they loved you for that.
Big Mike Spada, grew mushroom farmer.
Yeah.
That's how he started. People in this community now would remember, if they remember him as a wealthy man.
Right.
He grew mushrooms in Glasgow and Saugerties with a partner, a Jewish man as a partner, a backer, right? Grew mushrooms. That's how he started.
That's
Uncle Tommy, God bless Uncle Tommy's in Golden Hill. We'll tell you stories about his big brother, Big Mike, making him go to the cave to turn over manure. Because that's what you grew mushrooms in, manure. You had to haul in truckloads of manure.
Yeah.
Right, and this is how they began.
Yeah.
But they weren't too proud to do that.
Yeah.
And they took that little bit of money that they made.
Yep, exactly.
Maybe collecting rags, a little bit of money.
Right.
And you save it and you build it, and you're not entitled. You don't get everything for nothing. You don't hug trees and make bike trails. You go to work. You get a real job.
You
get a real job. Yeah. You build something.
Yeah. We had our first gathering, the Italian American Foundation, Tuesday.
A real gathering?
A real 70 people up at Diamond Mills. We were in
20 more than you're allowed. I hope the governor doesn't find out.
No, we were in 2 different rooms. They had it Tom Struzzieri had it well planned. He said hello. He wants to come on the show. So we had a remote room.
We'd love to have him on the show,
Les Lombardi president. We should have Les on.
I love Les Lombardi. You know where I met Les Lombardi, right?
Oh.
Over at the Cardiac Rehab Center at Northern Dutchess.
Yeah, he's amazing.
We worked out together every morning. What a wonderful man.
So Nina and I founded the organization. I was president for 5 years. Les is now president. They could not have selected a better guy.
Right.
I mean, he's just spectacular. Hall of Fame basketball coach. He's used to working and dealing and with people and getting the best out of them.
He's a guy that draws you in. When he starts to speak, he draws you in.
He's got that big frame.
He's just that guy that I want to listen to this man talk. talk.
So
yeah.
we gave out 5 scholarships that night to Italian-American
beautiful.
students.
You remember who?
No,
it's okay.
I
Sorry.
don't. Actually, it's on my. I can pull it up on the Facebook.
Go to the Google.
Yeah, there's a lot of vowels in a lot of those names, and then we gave out $500 community grant awards to the ones present. There was a couple of others that weren't there. I'm not sure who they were, recipients. So Children's Home received $500. Beautiful. Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club. And so
wonderful organization.
One of the young ladies, she was from the Tiano family. I think her name is Regan in Kingston. She talked about her, and I didn't know the guy, LT. They call him. I want to say Lawrence Tiano. I'm not sure what his first name was. Maybe a caller out there can let us know about his story of coming over from Italy, working like crazy with zero. A shirt in his back, came over. And the Tiano family is prolific in this area.
Absolutely. If you don't know a Tiano, you haven't lived here.
Exactly. So it was just a great evening, and everybody was masked up where they had to be masked up, and it's funny how the coronavirus goes away when you sit down in a restaurant.
Well, please. It goes away if you have a protest. It goes away if you have a protest. It doesn't go to protests, right. But it does. But you can't have a funeral. Mm-hmm. Funny, they had a huge funeral. They've had a couple of huge funerals for notable people who've passed away, and they was okay. They didn't have the coronavirus there. But you can't go to your kid's graduation, or you can't go to your mom's funeral. You can't, or your dad's funeral, or your cousin's funeral, because you can't have too many people. It's
they got some of this
scam.
right. I think they got a lot of it wrong.
Yeah. About 40% of it is scam.
Yeah.
All right, exactly. Ask me what I did this week.
What'd you do this week?
Of note. What'd you do of note? Well, I did a lot of crap that nobody cares about.
What'd you do of significance and note?
So. As you and both of our listeners know, I have spent a good deal of time being critical of our city government administration for their what I can perceive as their lack of handling or mishandling of the rise in crime, the huge rise in crime that's played out on the front pages of the Freeman, but plays out in the lives of the citizens of Kingston.
Absolutely,
I've been critical.
Absolutely,
but being critical is only half the job. You should not criticize if you can't offer to be part of the solution in any scenario.
Exactly.
Not just this.
If you're just griping, if you're just
one of those people that just complains,
bitch,
you're not helping the situation. And that, in thinking of these things, thinking about this, it came to light that is the case. And so, since those that know me know that I'm moving to 46 Crane Street in Kingston. Our house is for sale.
Right.
We're moving to Kingston. I can now become involved in Kingston politics.
Nice.
And I put my application in on the website to be a police commissioner. Because the police department needs, thank you.
Unbelievable one.
I hope I'm given fair consideration. By the way, there are many, many, many other people of equal or greater ability than me who have also made that application.
Well, you had a career in law enforcement, and
I also had a career in business.
Which I know.
And so it should never be all about one thing. It should be a breadth of knowledge. But I did have a wonderful career in police work in the city of Kingston. My resume is if I may say, 25 years.
25 years. That's
started as a corrections officer for the sheriff's department. Retired as a uniformed sergeant. Along the way, I was also a hostage negotiator, FBI trained hostage negotiator on the ESU team. Yes,
that one. That's a reveal. That's a reveal.
I'm a Marine Patrol officer and a Marine Patrol officer trainer. Teach people how to run police boats, how you operate a vessel. I'm a 100-ton master captain. I hold a Coast Guard license as a 100-ton master, and trained with and then trained Marine Patrol officers. I worked 2 years on a federal drug task force that was a national and ultimately international arrests in the early 90s of an international drug ring. I spent 2 years on that task force started by the New York State Police Special Investigations Unit.
Got more qualifications than that.
Well, I'm not alone in these experiences, but the people who see you on the street, that guy's a cop. They think all you've done is eat donuts and drink coffee in a patrol car. They don't and then it's not their fault. They don't understand the depth of experience that most officers experience during the course of their career. And so you want to bring that, and I also ran a business with, 15 to 20 employees.
Right. So you get it.
I pay taxes.
Right.
I paid a lot of taxes.
You signed the front of the paycheck.
I dealt with the city, the water department.
Who's more qualified than you?
I did all these things and understand I believe, or my opinion of the needs of the city and the police to be successful. I'd love to offer that free of charge to anyone who would like to take advantage of that knowledge.
You've been on many boards, too. You've been on
I'm a president of the board of directors for the Center for Spectrum Services. My term ended this week. In
no
fact.
Kidding. Oh, no. Who's the new pres, you know?
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
I
Bad
do.
question.
I'm looking at him because we talked yesterday.
Okay.
And it'll pop into my head. It's the medication.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the medication.
I thought that made you pee more.
That makes me pee, and I can't remember stuff from yesterday. But good luck.
Don't
ask me to borrow money because I won't remember. Yeah.
When does a decision get made for appointment?
I don't know. You serve at the pleasure of the mayor.
Okay.
And I know that the mayor may not. Yes,
there
there is an opening. They're advertising for it.
Okay.
The mayor probably is displeased with me.
You're a bit outspoken.
I'm outspoken. I've been critical.
Right.
I think rightfully so.
If I were them, I would put you right in the kitchen.
That's how you keep your friends close, your enemies closer, man.
Right in the kitchen.
That's my advice.
Right.
Yeah.
They would be super smart to do that.
Yeah.
Super smart. Can I mention the good
Radiothon?
The Radiothon. Yeah, we're going to. No, I want to just really talk quickly about the young folks that got the scholarships. Not talk about them, I just want to mention their names.
Please.
So Claire Bartoloni, I'm going to say. Bartoloni. Now, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing these all right. From Rondout Valley High School.
Come on,
Bartoloni. Isabella Fiorisi from Highland High School.
Beautiful name.
I
love Isabella.
Zia Kirkland from Saugerties High School. Ariana Bartoloni from Walk Hill High School. Reagan Allen, that's the one that's in the Tiano clan, Kingston High School. Olivia Crimi Veroli, she's from the Highland High School.
Wow.
Dante Caltafamo, he's from Rondout. That's a nice Italiano name. And I don't know, Miles Stelling. Miles
Miles, he's in the woodpile. He's the Irishman in the woodpile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Miles must have a big, long Italian mom's name or something like that from Marlboro. So congratulations to those recipients. And that's all that stuff is on the Ulster County Italian American Foundation Facebook page. So, so it was a good night. What else? What else is going on? Let's talk about the Radiothon.
Yeah, you got it.
I got that.
I had a spirited discussion with Lawrence this morning.
Good.
One I'm sure he's unhappy with me about, but
okay.
We need money to stay on the air, and
spirited
or
is
we're
good.
Gone. Spirited. We'll say spirited.
So spirited. So we're the goal is $12,000. We're at $4,430, so we got a lot more chicken on that bone to take care of. You can pledge by calling 331-1004. What's the matter?
Sam Candell.
Oh, yes.
Sam Candell, who's a wonderful guy.
I like Sam Candell.
I just had a brain fart. Yes, SBA guy.
SBA guy.
Sam Candell is taking his spot as a leader in the leadership
of... Just talk to Sam about our PPP and our...
Sam, I know you're not listening, but forgive me for forgetting your name for 5 minutes.
Get Sam on the air. Have him call in. I know, he's great. Okay, so you can send a check to P.O. Box 4364, Kingston, New York, 12402. And, we need to raise $12,000. We're going to start a GoFundMe page. That's an easy way to give. You can either donate on our website by going to mykcr.org. The check is preferable because we don't pay any money for that, right? I mean, it's 100% with GoFundMe and with... I can't remember it's like a PayPal, but it's not PayPal. Lawrence knows. They take a little percentage, right? If you contribute online, but you can't. If it's easy for you to contribute online,
doesn't matter.
I do it a lot. It's worth $2 or $3. You don't have to get the checkbook out, write a check, find the address, send it in. But here you could do that. P.O. Box 4364, Kingston, New York, 12402. And if you can write a check for $8,000, we'd be happy. And then
we're done.
We're done. Just write the check.
Well, here's the real deal.
What's the real deal?
The real deal is we're not radio something, and we're not corporate sponsored by the richest man in the world.
Not NPR.
To spread the lies of socialism.
Right.
We're an actual radio station that's devoted to you, the listener.
Right.
We exist so that your issues can come to light on a public forum. We're the last of our kind. We're
Correct.
the dinosaur in the radio
Right,
world.
right.
If you like that, if you believe in the free expression of speech, 67% of Americans are afraid to say what their opinion is publicly now.
Yeah.
Because of the rise of the woke generation,
Right.
the far left liberals who shout you down and are taking away your freedom of expression.
Right.
So 60, and it's,
ironic, 'cause that's what they're
67%
fighting
of
for.
Americans are afraid to speak their mind. This is the last place you can say. I don't care if you disagree with me. Call me and tell me I'm a tool.
Yeah.
That's fine. Tell me I'm an idiot. You know, I don't care. You can say what you want as long as you don't swear.
He's referring to Home Depot or Sears, maybe.
You know we're losing
tool.
Lowe's, right? Did you
What?
guys hear that? Lowe's is going out of business in Kingston.
What?
not
No
hear that.
way.
I just found out last week,
No,
about
that
10
can't
days ago.
be. That's
So if you're
impossible.
looking for a grill or my mother's looking for a new fridge,
No, that's impossible.
now's the time to get one.
I need a whole bunch of kitchen appliances for my new
Boom.
apartment.
You're ready to go.
Oh,
Where'd
I'm
you
the
read
second
that?
stop today.
My mother told me, and it was on, I think we were watching MSNBC, and it came up about 200.
There's one in
You watch
200
MSNBC?
No, I actually
What's
watched.
wrong with you?
I happened to be skipping through the
Yeah,
thing.
good.
You know I don't watch that
Okay, good.
fascist. Anyway,
Yeah.
we were watching TV, or I happened to be up at the house, and it said on the bottom of the ticker, 200 stores closing nationwide, and Kingston, New York was listed as one of them.
Well, that would be
Yeah.
a shame.
So if you're
all
looking
those
for cheap
folks that work
appliances,
up there.
folks,
I'll tell you.
No, that's heartbreaking for the people that
maybe
work
a snowblower.
I don't need one because I'm going where it doesn't snow.
Yeah, but what about Pankaki? It snows in Pankaki.
No, Pankaki has like special dispensation. It doesn't snow there. They're all Italian down there.
Well, I don't understand it. There's a Lowe's in New Paltz that probably doesn't do as much. As much
maybe,
business.
Yeah, I'm not
as,
sure,
huge
but maybe
Lowe's in
with
New
Home
Paltz.
Depot next
Yeah,
to it.
but
You know,
what's
maybe
that?
with Home Depot next to it, you know,
Maybe.
the Lowe's in Kingston doesn't do that good. But every time I go there,
there's
Lowe's
zillions
is
of
packed.
people there all the time.
I'm a Home
in
Depot
there.
guy. I
Yes.
prefer Home
If they
Depot,
would have
but-
said Sam's Club was
Actually,
closing, then I would have been a little upset.
I'm a
'cause I like
Herzog's
Sam's.
guy. I mean, I don't buy appliances at Herzog's, but I would buy appliances at Home Depot.
No, you don't buy appliances at Herzog's.
No, but you know what I do buy? I buy my lawn equipment there.
Yeah, and I buy
Well,
my lumber there.
Right. The Herzog's is my first stop for
Right,
a hardware
right,
store.
right.
But if you need something that they don't carry, then I would
Right.
go to Home
I bought a
Depot.
leaf blower there in the fall, so
There you go.
and it's
Good.
working great.
Well,
Oh, that's
horrible. if that's true.
I would like confirmation on that, please. Anthony's working on
Why
it.
don't you just Google it because
I want
it's,
full confirmation. So, listen, we have something to announce here that's important. Anyway, can I finish up on the police commissioner thing? If you're a listener to this show and you live in Kingston, it's important that you're from Kingston. We have a caller? Beautiful. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Dr. Paul, how are you? I love to hear your tone. Love it.
Well, one thing I do want to mention, in July, I had sent 2 checks in. They still have not been cashed.
Lawrence, there you
that's
go.
not good.
Well,
Got to
you
cash
may want
the
to,
check.
go check the mail from way back
Yeah.
then.
Thank you, doctor. That's very kind of you.
Yeah.
Once we were the Empire State, and New York City was the jewel in the world of cities. The same with San Francisco, Chicago, and Los Angeles. What we have witnessed is the degradation, destruction of the state, because we have a dictator there that has, and a government that just follows his dictates without challenging it, destroying what's happening in our state. We're losing people like crazy. We are finding that there are all kinds of problems.
Oh,
The
they're
safety of
burning
the
down
people,
New York City.
and it's all this is crumbling. The most important factor in our government is schooling, and government schools.
Of course.
And
It's our
other
social
schools
responsibility.
are falling apart. Children are in great need of social interaction. But the whole philosophy of education, it's not education, it's schooling. We are going to school kids, and we've been doing it for a couple of generations now. We will dictate to them what values are, etc. Once we had the greatest schools in the world, and that was New York City, they took in immigrants and from all different languages and educated them. We had schools that dealt with social values, how to act socially in terms of responsibility to others, how you treat others. We had teachers that were well-trained and dedicated teaching children, not subjects, not exams, but children in their individuality and helping them to learn that they can do many, many things, do not let anyone tell you you can't do, and they would assist them. They would
was a
not
calling.
have all
That was a
kinds
calling.
of mechanical things dictating what is right and what is wrong. The value system. They have declined to have that. What does it mean to be a human being? A human person is composed of body and soul. Well, the soul, which gives us the sense of value, the law of love, loving your neighbor, loving yourself, all of these have been pushed aside for very, very strong secular kinds of things which do not have the basis of what it means to be human and to function well. We had that in the schools. We had respect. We had the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning. We had, various things that could be discussed, which now are anathema because you have certain select groups saying, well, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Led by the teachers union.
Oligarchs that have come in and dictated what not only the curriculums are, but also what the testing systems are, so that the teachers then they're strangled because instead of the love which they have for children, that's why they became teachers, they now have to protect themselves by just worrying about the testing and how well the kids are doing, rather than you're not there for your schools for testing, but education means that you work with children.
We have lost our way, Doctor.
Learn who they are as a person, what it means to be a functioning person, and what are the social values which made this country great.
We have lost our way, and if we're not very careful, we'll go past the tipping point to bring it back. We're not there yet. We can. I want to ask you for your support. I've volunteered to be a police commissioner in Kingston. There's an opening.
Great.
I have been very vocally critical of the way that the department has been managed by City Hall. And so if you want to be, you should not be allowed to be a critic unless you also offer solutions or your effort towards solutions. So I want to offer efforts towards solutions. As you have taught me, Doctor, in our years of relationship, be critical, but then offer solutions. And I appreciate all your words of wisdom. We're at the end of the half hour, Doctor, so I got to go.
Right, you keep doing it, and I'm so happy that you're going to be on that commission.
Oh, I won't be on it, but I'm trying. Yeah, I've volunteered. We'll see what happens.
Make it.
You serve at the pleasure of the mayor, so we'll see what happens. But I'm glad to hear your voice. I wish you well, sir.
All the best, Paul.
Thank you, Doctor. And we have a giant announcement.
We do, and I made that big mistake. It was Kingston, Ontario that the Lowe's is closing.
Or Kingston, Jamaica. Might have been Kingston.
So there are a bunch of Lowe's closing, but the only ones in New York are
in Manhattan.
Are in Manhattan, yes, both of
them.
So
everyone who works up there and lives in our area
if anybody heard that 10 minutes ago thought they were losing their job, you're still good.
Yeah, you're okay.
Somewhere
Lowe's
in Kingston,
is not
Kingston
closing.
Some Kingston somewhere is closing. Wow. That's just the way it's going to go.
I know we only have a minute, but we should have announced this, or we'll do this at the top of the next hour. That's important. That's a fundraiser for a young person.
Okay.
So, all right, we'll take a quick break and be right back.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
100 years ago, there were 100,000 tigers in the wild. Today, there are as few as 3,200. The Earth's wild animals can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Central Hudson reminds you that summer thunderstorms can strike with strong, gusty winds, knocking down trees and power lines. If you see a downed power line, call 911 immediately to report it. Power lines can carry an electric current strong enough to cause injury or death. Stay at least 30 feet away from a fallen line. Don't try to move it or anything that has come in contact with it. And never drive over a power line. Remember, your safety matters.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in Kingston needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Flash!
Boom!
All right, man. Flash and boom. This is Thunder Thursday.
We got the amenable Armenian on the phone, but we need to say this announcement because this is
Go ahead.
important.
You want to do
Saturday, August 22nd at noon, Sunday, August 23rd at noon at Cantine Field is the Cecilia Strong softball event. Saturday the 22nd, Sunday the 23rd is Cantine Field. Mount Marion Fire Department hosts 24 hours of softball, raffles, food and drink available all weekend. 12 teams are needed. There's a gold sponsor, silver sponsor, and bronze sponsor. SAA rules. Each team will play for 2 hours. For more information, call Drew at 845-681-3989, 681-3989. This is important. This is to strike out leukemia.
Right.
This is a fundraiser.
Picture of it looks like a young gal
child
with
leukemia. This is what these guys and ladies are doing.
Right. Great
the
cause.
Cecilia Strong softball event. Participate if you can.
Yep.
That's a big deal.
All right. I think on the air we have John Maserjian. John from Central Hudson. How are you?
Good morning. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you pretty
Better
well.
if we could see you, my amenable Armenian friend.
I know. I really am looking forward to seeing your new studio.
The new digs, man.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of us?
Today. I've got a meeting right after this, but
I'm
really
maybe
happy
next
to
month.
be speaking to you guys.
John, where were you just honored? I saw recently, within the last few weeks, you were honored by an organization. Who can you talk about? I know it's hard to talk about yourself, but where were you honored?
It's the Anderson School
right.
for Autism,
right,
or Anderson Center for Autism,
Yep.
as they've renamed themselves. It's a great organization in Statsburg. I was on the board for like 19 years.
Wow. Holy cannoli.
And my colleague, Paul Colbert, who is also on the board. It's embarrassing. You're right.
No.
It's well deserved.
It's a wonderful. It is your own time, which is the most valuable thing you can give back to your community.
Right.
So congratulations.
They're clients of ours, and we really understand their mission and know what they do, and it's an important service that they provide. And I remember going to the event a few years ago when you could actually gather together.
Right.
And Marcus Molinaro was there, the county executive, and it was just a great night. And they had a guy there. Remember, not pina coladas. Yeah, the pina colada guy.
Right.
Rupert
Yeah.
Rupert Jones.
If you
or
like
something.
pina coladas.
That one. What is it, John? Rupert
Holmes.
Rupert Holmes. Right. He was there. And he's, I guess, a supporter of the Anderson back then called
Did he sing
School.
the song?
He didn't.
Oh.
He's an older Jewish guy, all right?
So is Barry Manilow. Come on. If
So
he
is
was
Neil
there, I
Diamond.
want to sing.
So is Neil Diamond.
So I want to hear him sing.
No, his son is at Anderson. He's being in the adult care area.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
It's
super nice guy. Super
he and his
amazing.
wife are amazing supporters.
Yeah. So congratulations, well deserved honor, and I'm not sure when is that coming up, or are they doing that virtually, or what are they doing?
Yeah, it will likely be virtually. It was planned for October, and I think they're going to try to do something a little different, just like we all are nowadays.
Well, I was just telling Scott, we had our first Ulster County Italian American Foundation event at Diamond Mills. They can put 50 in each room, and
what do you do? Shout to each other, or
no? We throw rolls.
Hey,
Vinny. So
how you doing? No, how you doing?
But no, they had a remote screen. You know, we had the live performance, so to speak. We handed out scholarships and community awards, and in the other room was the big screen. Well, everything was at the table, served at the table. They did an amazing job, I have to say, and pulled it off under the guidelines. Everyone had masks on, and it was hilarious because when we did the raffle, you could tell which room the auxiliary room, when they won, there was a huge roar that went up. Somebody from their room that won, you could hear it in the other room. It was hilarious. You know,
so proving it can be done.
Exactly, and
Tom Struzeri proved it can be done.
John, I'm sorry we're taking some of your time, but we don't give our businesses enough credit to be able to do what they need to do in a safe fashion and earn some money. And the government is kind of a little pushy.
What a gentle way to put that. Yeah.
So
John knows about that,
and can be critical.
His company was roundly criticized by the do-nothing continuing criminal enterprise called New York government in Albany after the storm.
Right.
That's not a reflection of John's opinion or Central Hudson's,
right?
But Central Hudson was one of the many companies that he uses the term our governor. He's not my governor, but yelling at the power companies for not working hard enough.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
John, you can choose to pass on this or not.
I think whenever you have a major storm like that, and that affects particularly the downstate area, there's a lot of criticism, and the call for the investigation came on the day after the storm. So I will say that Central Hudson did a decent job in this. I know it's
Central Hudson did a wonderful job.
Proper for me to say that, but we had half our customers impacted by the storm restored by the first day, 75% by the second day, and 98% by the third day. So before Sunday, everything was cleaned up, and unfortunately, there was some significant damage to the south.
Right.
In Westchester, Long Island, parts of New Jersey, and parts of the northern boroughs. So, they were still at it, this week, cleaning up, and it is a daunting task to clean up those trees and restore power. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy, and it's not really helpful for there to be an investigation launched the next day. What we should have launched was an investigation into why so many people died in nursing homes, but I guess that's going to be taken care of. Central Hudson came out in the middle of the storm and started fixing things as soon as they went down, as soon as it was reasonably safe for them to come out. And kudos to your company and to your workers, to the staff of Central Hudson and all the other power companies. You all work collectively, don't you, John? Isn't it sort of a mutual aid type of scenario? Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, we had to call in for mutual aid, and we did so before the storm even arrived.
Right.
Because we knew it would be necessary, and because so many utility companies along the eastern seaboard were affected. We had to pull in companies from outside of the area, outside the state. But once the storm passed, we were able to secure utility crews from National Grid. The utility to the north,
right.
They were not as impacted, and some of their contractors. So, we had a field force of about 700 line and tree clearing workers, which is one of the largest that we've ever assembled. I mean, that I have to be honest, that pales in comparison to some of the larger utilities, where they get thousands out in the field.
Right.
We just don't have that capacity, nor could we. That would be counterproductive for us to get too many out in the field is dangerous.
That work has to be coordinated as well.
Look, John, there's still people.
But they did a great job. They really did. And we were in constant communication with our customers, and things were happening very quickly. One downside to this whole thing is that there is a national shortage of dry ice. and we had a lot of trouble.
Why is that?
Securing that. Yeah.
Why?
It's related to the pandemic and the capacity of some of the suppliers. So we were able to get small quantities, but unfortunately, most of what we distributed was regular ice, water ice and bottled water. But I will say that a Kingston supplier had a bead on a small supply of about 1,500 pounds in the Albany area, and he worked through Dutchess County and through the town of East Fishkill.
Nice.
And Central Hudson, we were able to secure that supply and distribute it. So
that's great.
A local source.
Yahoo. John, there's still crews at staying at Best Western. I was there making a reservation for our next guest, and there were trucks all over the place at Best Western Kingston. Is that through you guys, or is that somewhere else?
That was through us. Yes, we had arranged for hotel rooms. Our office in Lake Katrine was one of the gathering points for the mutual aid crews. So I didn't realize they were still there.
Oh yeah,
they could be on their way back. I will say though that we did release our own crews and our contract crews to the utilities to the south. Once we had everything back on, there was a shortage of rooms, so it's possible that they remained here and then drove down.
Oh, it's possible
to work because
I know Ralph Sackerman was happy.
Yeah. And dear Governor Cuomo, while they're out there up in their bucket trucks and clearing trees and restringing wire as quickly as they can, you're up in Albany criticizing them and launching an investigation. Why don't you try to support them for a minute? Why don't you say thank you to the people who've left their family? I mean, listen, it's their job. I get that. They're being paid for it. But nobody was sitting around playing cards while this was going on.
Right.
They're out there trying to restore power. The damage is done by the storm. It's got to be repaired. This isn't easy to do.
I thought I read somewhere there was 1,000 places where there were down trees and which interrupted lines, and I mean, is that close to accurate?
Dangerous, by the way.
1,000.
Yeah, so dangerous.
In our area, it was about 1,900 damage locations.
1,900.
Yeah.
Wow.
There were reports of about 2,500 down lines.
Wow.
That had to be addressed.
Yeah, that can be done in a few hours.
Yeah. You still hop in your truck and go fix that, will you? Thank you, Governor.
We had to we replaced more than 140 poles. I think about 144 poles were broken.
Wow.
This was for us. This was the fourth most damaging storm in
That's
50
amazing
years for Central Hudson. So it was significant. To our south, it was the second most damaging storm for say,
like Sandy and Irene and
well, those were flooding events though, which is interesting that are different.
Right. High wind events, not high wind events.
We perceive them as a huge, but they flooded. That didn't necessarily knock power out, right?
Right.
Yeah. And do that kind of damage.
Yeah.
Where trees had to be cleared. By the way, this is the same company that has donated how much money for the loan fund for COVID relief here? How much is Central Hudson?
Oh, right. Yeah, we have $1 million.
What? $1 million? $1 million? Yeah.
$1 million.
So to help buy down loans from local banks for small businesses with who employed 20 or less, and we did use locally headquartered banks in this program. Ulster Savings, one of your sponsors, is among them.
Rondout Savings, maybe I don't know. Are they in there somewhere?
Sawyer Savings, Rondout Savings. So they're all part of the group of banks that are participating. If a small business is in need of a working capital loan, which many are. Central Hudson will provide grants up to $10,000 for each loan that will help pay down the cost of that loan. Say, cover the first 3 or 4 payments, for example. It goes towards interest and principal. So we put $1 million in our economic development fund towards that program. And there are many loans being taken out. focused mainly on food service, but really from businesses across the board. So that's one of the programs that we implemented, hoping to jumpstart the economy and allow these small businesses a chance to get back on their feet.
As long as we can get employees,
that things will be moving along a little more briskly than they are. I think all of us did. We are in phase 4, but there are still certain industry segments that are not allowed to open, and there's still quite
staggering.
A few restrictions.
Very bizarre choices made. Gyms can't open. You can go to the Wally Mart,
right,
with 10,000 of your closest friends,
right,
but you can't go to the gym where there's a cleaning station every 4 feet, and exercise, which is what helps you stay illness free. I'm not sure how those decisions are made, but to the point, Central Hudson, a for-profit company, a public utility company, who doesn't have to give $1 million,
right,
in not loans, grants,
right,
to local small business,
right,
not the New York Knicks,
Los Angeles Lakers, right.
Los Angeles Lakers, not those people who are sucking the system dry.
Right.
Small
Taking
businesses
money.
employing less than 20 people.
Mom-pa shops, right.
But businesses like yours and mine,
Yep.
To try to help them deal with this. So, John, on behalf of the citizens of Kingston and Ulster County,
Yes. We thank
you
you.
to
We
Central
thank
Hudson.
you. The governor may not. We thank you.
The governor's a tool. We thank you. We appreciate it. You're trying to help our local economy. And Central Hudson, by the way, does that in a number of ways with different charitable organizations. Right, John?
Yeah. Yes. We try.
Yeah.
We actually in late July 29th, we announced that we provided a grant to Sonotech, which is a
Sonotech, right,
in Milton.
Yeah, we know those guys.
$100,000 economic development grant to help fund their expansion. They're putting $500,000 into their plant in Milton in the middle of a pandemic. Which is great.
Great for them, right?
They're helping to create and retain 78 local high-tech jobs, which is really what we need. And Sonotech is great in that their products are being used to help with in the pandemic. They make ultra coating systems, and their products are being used in systems that test and utilize disinfectant spray systems. So they're a key player in the battle against the pandemic and keeping people safe and
that's
healthy.
Interesting.
And to be expanding during this time, this speaks volumes of the company. So it's well deserved.
John, I just want to take you back to the storm and storm prep. I'm interested, at the hospital, we had obviously an emergency preparedness team, and we would practice and drill, and we talked about it. Now, I'm curious how Central Hudson, looks at forecasts or, storms that are coming up usually from the south, and how far in advance, what just take us behind the curtain in terms of, what you do, what Central Hudson does to prep for one of these possibly big storms. What do you do?
Oh, yeah, sure. We actually have one of our members, we have a storm team. What we call emergency response, and we also have an emergency response plan for electric emergencies and for natural gas emergencies. So this is well documented, and we drill just like the hospital does at least once a year, more often than that, to practice and make sure everyone is ready to go. They're seasoned. Right. Everyone knows what they do, and every employee is given a storm assignment. No matter what you do at Central Hudson,
Interesting.
You read meters, you're on a storm assignment. If you're in the gas system, working on the gas system, you have a storm assignment. Electric storm. If you're in accounting, you have a storm assignment.
Wow! Wow!
So
everybody, all hands on deck, right?
All hands on deck. Yeah. So as the storm approaches, the minute there's a named storm, we're on it.
Yeah.
and we're watching its track, and we speak with. There are actually conference calls held by the National Weather Service
that
we participate on, so we have a good idea from the weather forecasting experts as to where the storm is going to track
and the timing of it.
Yeah, and the timing, and we also use a paid weather forecasting service that does forecasts specific to our area. We use Hudson Valley Weather.
Oh, no kidding! Yeah, they're great.
Great resource.
Yeah,
yes.
They are great.
And we watch very carefully what's happening, and then we're in communication with utilities, that may be impacted by the storm before us, to get an idea of what they're experiencing and what's happening to their systems. Then when it's very obvious that it's going to be impacting our system, we start with our internal preparedness. Everyone makes sure that they do have a storm assignment. They talk to the supervisor, make sure that they're ready to go. We have make sure that we have adequate supplies of wires and spools and all the materials that we need. We reach out to an organization called the Northeast Mutual Aid Group, and this is a group of it's a regional group that covers the Northeast, where utility companies, contractors can all request and offer mutual aid to companies who will need it. So we made that call, and we were able to secure, to start, about 100 line workers, knowing, though, that we need more. So, we kept our quote-unquote order in for additional crews. And we also retained our contractors. We have electrical contractors who do special jobs for Central Hudson. We asked their companies to please supply additional workers if they were able to, and also the tree contractors to supply additional workers. So we set the stage for bringing in extra people. We reserved hotel rooms. We tried to order dry ice, but unfortunately,
out of dry ice,
limited supplies, right? But we had supplies of bottled water and regular ice. We had set up teams of Central Hudson employees to pre-arranged locations where the water and ice can be distributed. So we've made arrangements with different municipalities, schools, firehouses, etc., saying if we were to need a location during a major event, may we count on you, if damage occurs in your area. So that's all been prearranged, and we have employees who, storm after storm, do this work. They arrange for the ice and they staff it. We also have what's called our damage assessment crews, which are a group of employees that will go out ahead of the crews to see where the damage is and report back so that we can plan. We have what we call a nickname, bird dogs, or they're actually a more official name is crew leader. These are employees who work directly with the crews that come in from outside the area and take them to their assignments.
Yeah.
They're a liaison between those crews and Central Hudson to make sure that they have what they need, they have the instructions that they need, and if something should come up, they have a way to communicate that back to us. So
very complicated. I mean, that sounds usually complicated, but obviously you all do it well, right? I mean,
yeah, it works.
It works. Yeah,
that really works. Yeah.
How many times did you mispronounce the name of the storm?
I can go on for a day. It's a system it's tried and true, and it really takes, though, a dedicated effort. It's not a machine. It's not something that you plug in and goes.
Right.
It's up to the individuals to make it happen.
Look, there's humans involved for one, and for two, these storms are unpredictable. They may, the forecast may be this, but it winds up being that, and
Right.
you have to react to
I'm amazed
that.
at how damaging this storm was.
This
'Cause
was-
it really didn't impact
it was-
us in this area, or local. I mean, very locally.
Kinda
We didn't even lose power. and-
underestimated or understated, or
Right.
wasn't.
I didn't realize that it had that damaging an effect for the
Right.
workers at Central Hudson. Give them a break, folks. That's one
Right.
of the terms we use when they're out there on the road and they're trying
Working
to do
hard.
repairs and they're asking you to slow down. Do them a favor. Give them a break. Slow down. It's dangerous work. They're working with electricity. They're working on the road. They're clearing trees with power tools. We appreciate it, and we appreciate the support Central Hudson gives to both the community and this radio station.
Absolutely. And we thank you, John, for sending a replacement. And last month you couldn't make it for whatever reason, and I'm blanking on her name, but she was delightful.
Oh my God, she was a wonderful
Alana,
young.
Yeah.
Alana Daly,
Yeah, you can send her anytime. Yeah. Love you, loved her.
Yeah. So that was.
She's great. She actually oversees our department. She's a great asset.
Oh, so
I told her.
the
I
boss.
said, "You're John's boss, aren't you?" And
Yeah.
she said, "No." But we know she is. Because behind every mediocre man is a woman doing most of the work.
That is true. Absolutely true.
John, we're down to 2 minutes. SendHub, go do your shopping at SendHub. That's sendhub.com, right, John?
That's right.
My favorite online store.
Yeah.
SendHub.com. Buy your light bulbs there. We thank you for your support. We thank you for taking the time to call in. And I hope that you'll come and be what they call in studio next time.
I can't wait.
And bring Alana with you, okay?
You guys.
Can you bring Alana with you? And some cake.
And some cake.
Some
right.
cake.
Right.
All right, buddy?
You guys are too funny.
John
Yeah,
Maserjian,
sure.
thank you so much for, and you've been with us now for at least a couple of years, right?
Couple of years. He's a
I
regular.
would say.
So his picture in the paper and everything. Yeah.
Yep. He's legit, man. He's bona fide. He's bona fide.
Bona fide. There you go,
Bona
John.
fide.
There's an award you won't get anywhere else. You've been declared bona fide here. All right, buddy. We'll talk
All
to you
right.
next month.
All
I
the
hope we'll
best.
see you next month.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Thank you,
You
Central
too.
Hudson.
You guys as well. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. What a good guy. We love
Great.
love listening to John.
We do. We have a minute or so left. We're going to do birthdays right at the top of the hour. I think we have a birthday or two. We have Jeffry Cadorette, who's in studio today.
In studio.
Well, Jeffrey.
This is what all radio hosts say: is in studio. When did we take
In
the out? We took the out.
It's kind of like
I'm in studio.
And here's another one that I can't stand. Instead of saying I'm sorry, people say my bad.
Yeah, no,
All right,
I don't even know what that means.
My
Yeah.
bad. What is that?
Say I'm sorry. It's
Yeah, I'm
more meaningful.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I made a mistake.
Yeah. Because
No,
you should never be
no.
too big for that.
My
My bad.
bad.
My bad. Yeah.
It's replaced words.
That's the woke generation. Sorry. Yeah. Go back to sleep. If you're woke, go back to sleep, please.
All right, Lawrence, take us out of our misery here.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Central Hudson reminds you, when you're doing yard work, safety matters. If you use a ladder, be aware of overhead electric lines, including the service wire that runs to your house. Even wooden ladders can conduct electricity with dangerous results. And be very careful if there are electric lines above or near a swimming pool, and you're working with skimmers, brooms, or other long-handled tools. Central Hudson wishes you a safe summer.
Introducing the YMCA. Sure, you know the Y for a swim or a game of hoops, but we're more than that. We're a cause. When you take a jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Practice yoga as a team practices her leadership skills. We give people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds a chance to learn, grow, and thrive. So while you might think of the Y as the place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. That's the Y. We're so much more. Visit ymca.net/more.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
Hi, this is Jim Quigley, supervisor of the town of Ulster, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This programming is brought to you by the Friends of Kevin Cahill. As a strong advocate of local broadcasting, Assemblymember Cahill urges you to support Kingston Community Radio with your time and donations. Your contributions keep KCR vital and on the air at FM 92.5, AM 920, and on the web at mykcr.org. Please join Assemblymember Cahill and send your gifts of $10, $25, or more to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402. Together, let's keep KCR alive.
Yep. All right, flash!
Boom!
All right, baby, flash and boom.
Thunder Thursday.
We need a name for Jeffrey, but we got to do.
I'm sure he's horrified for what.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
Man,
I like that. I like that.
My nickname in college.
Oh,
Was
nice.
it really?
Nice.
Can you say why or not? Yeah.
On the air. This is PG.
Part of these airways.
Yeah. PG radio here.
I like that.
Come on. Okay, so we got to do birthdays real quick, and then I'll introduce Jeff. He was on a couple of
If we
weeks
don't
ago,
do birthdays, we get calls. That's
It's like one of those shock collars.
Really important,
right?
right.
It's like one of those doggy collars where you get zapped. So we can actually even include you in this soiree. And so, Scott,
I'm going to wish Thursday, August 13th, a very happy birthday to Harriet Katatsky, a beautiful and joyous, wait for this,
yes,
100th birthday.
OMG.
Holy smokes, that's
Cannoli.
wonderful. 100th birthday
You should get two
to
pies.
Harriet
Two cow pies.
Katatsky.
Yeah.
From her daughter Eileen and son-in-law Ron Augustine. God bless you, Harriet, and congratulations on making your 100th birthday.
Right. Okay.
Milestone.
Jeffrey.
I'm on.
You're on.
Happy birthday to Christine Feeney. I don't have a lot of detail on Christine, other than that she was born on August 13th, and she turns 69 years old today.
Years young.
That's a milestone.
Fantastic.
That's a
milestone,
too.
yeah.
Knocking on the door.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You made it.
You hear that knocking.
Yes.
All right.
Feeney,
Happy birthday,
great local family, the Feeneys.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
Huge, wonderful
They're
people.
amazing. Christine.
But we have a wiener.
The wiener of a delicious cow pie from Boy's Dairy Milk Cats is... That would be Harriet Katatsky.
Yay! 100, you ought to get a cow pie.
Everybody.
Among other things, yes.
Everybody should get a cow pie.
Not to take away from Miss Feeney's 69th birthday, but
yeah, that's a cool
when she
number.
turns 100, she'll get the cow pie.
Right, exactly.
So congratulations, Harriet. Go and collect your cow pie from Boyce's Dairy Milk
31
House.
more years, though, for her.
On O'Neill Street.
Is that math in your head?
No, on my
that was like
toes.
lightning.
No, that was just pure luck. Welcome, Jeffrey Cadorette. You were on call-in from Media, Pennsylvania, a couple of weeks ago, and so by your background, we'll talk about Rotary first, and then we'll talk a little bit about your what you do for a real living. Rotary is kind of not a real living, but it's
you don't get paid for being in the Rotary.
It's an avocation. So immediate past Rotary International Director, only one of 17 in the big, wide, round world that we have, right? And Rotary is an organization of 1.2 million members in over 200 countries and 35,000 clubs, and it's a big responsibility. You had pretty much, I know you were one of the board, but your geography was Canada,
Alaska, Yukon Territories, Canada, French Islands off of Canada, Michigan,
and
New England
Bermuda?
states, Mid-Atlantic states, New York State, and Bermuda.
And Bermuda.
And Bermuda.
They get thrown in.
And Bermuda.
Yeah.
They get thrown in.
Having my meetings in
Bermuda. Yeah, that was a popular thing to do. And let me just give a little background, because we want to talk about Rotary for a little bit, but we also want to talk about your background in real estate. And so Jeff joined Media Real Estate in 1999 after a 25-year career in healthcare. Was previously president and CEO of Physical Therapy Associates of Delaware County. Doesn't he look like a physical therapist?
He does look like a physical
He's
therapist.
a swimmer, too, in college. So until he merged his practice with the Riddle Healthcare System, forming Riddle Rehab Institute and Riddle Sports Medicine. He's a member of the National Association of Realtors, the Tri-State Realtors Commercial Alliance, and a licensed Pennsylvania real estate broker, which also kind of translates to New York somehow. Active in all phases of commercial real estate and sales leasing. Jeff brings exemplary level of customer service expertise to his clients. He's active in the community, having served on, chaired numerous not-for-profit boards, committees. He's been a member of the Rotary Club of Media since 1977.
Wow.
The year you were born, Scott.
Yeah.
And a past governor of that side, and we talked about Rotary International director as well. Amongst numerous awards recognition, I like this part, Jeff is recipient of the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, of which we're served on that board.
Our Delaware County?
No, Delaware County of Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Distinguished Small Business Person of the Year Award.
Nice.
Pennsylvania Physical Therapy Association Humanitarian Award, and the Springfield College, the alma mater, Distinguished Alumni Award. So welcome to our humble show in person. Who are you?
Wow.
Who are you,
Really?
dude?
And how did we get such a great guest to come in studio from Media, Pennsylvania?
Heck of a drive yesterday.
What brought you here? Did you come here just to do this? Tony. Yeah, he's a very influential man.
We drove down, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago?
Something like that, a month ago.
In a driving rainstorm, and we had lunch together, and so this is my return
Home and
trip.
Home.
Very
Home
nice.
series.
Good
Home
for
and
you.
Home series.
Thank you.
Had dinner.
It's fun to have you
in person. Spoken to you from my phone.
A couple of weeks ago, yes.
He's a legend in his own mind.
In my own mind, yes.
We got 3 of them sitting right here. The room's going to explode.
From the greatness in it, yeah.
Anyway, so thank you for being here. Let's first talk about a historic event that happened with Rotary International.
This is a big deal.
This is a huge deal, right? Go ahead.
Last Thursday, the nominating committee for president of our international organization completed their work and chose Jennifer Jones from Ontario, Canada, as the first female president in our 115-year history.
Wonderful.
Now, but let's be clear. She wasn't chosen because she's a woman.
No.
She was the most qualified person in the lot being interviewed. But the fact is, she's the first female president in our history. She and I talked on the phone last week, and she's just on cloud 9. She's elated. And now the work begins. So, yeah.
Yeah, 1.7 million people she reports to now.
Yeah, 700 people on staff.
Yeah, great.
Other than that.
Was there a time, Jeff, oh, beautiful. Oh, she's young, too. Wow. That's great.
What's that you're posting?
A picture of her.
Oh, Jennifer Jones.
Jennifer Jones.
Yeah. Her husband, Nick, is a family doctor up in Canada. So, yeah, they just...
Was there a time that Rotary didn't have women members?
Oh, yeah.
Like many organizations?
We became, yes. For most of our existence since 1905, we did not. We got really enlightened in 1988. A light bulb went on. No, I'm sorry. The Supreme Court enlightened us. It wasn't us.
Right.
It was the
Supreme Court.
Yeah,
It
a
said,
bunch of old white men sitting around at a table.
So, yeah, 1988, women joined our organization. They now make
88,
up about 23% of our membership, which is low. We need more.
And similarly, Kiwanis and Lions, I think, were enlightened as well.
Yeah. We all were.
Yeah.
I wonder, I'm in Elk, and I'm embarrassed to say I don't know the history of women in the Elks. I know that we have, our organization has women members and leaders for all of my time there, but I wonder when they were enlightened as well.
Yeah.
It was also in 1988.
Well, I'll tell you, it was not, there was a ripple effect. We lost a lot of members. There were men, and it's really hard for me to get my head around this.
Right.
There were men that just said, not my club, not my organization, I'm out of here.
Good, we're done. We don't need you then. Thank you.
And by the way,
Good.
talk about racism at its, before all this stuff started.
It was cool. Women were the victims of racism for the last 1,000 since we started
years.
walking upright. They're
Right.
the largest
Exactly.
group who has been discriminated against in the history of mankind.
Correct.
And so as they rise to power,
we're happy.
Obviously, I'm married to a very strong woman who keeps me in line and tells me what to say in the morning before I leave.
Thank God.
Otherwise, I'd be out of control.
So we wish Jennifer well. Jeffrey was saying maybe down the road sometime.
Bring her up.
Well, we can call her. I mean, she's not going to come to Kingston,
She
New
won't
York.
come here?
No.
What?
But
The Mecca, the traveling Mecca of the Northeast, she won't come?
Maybe we can get both of them to call in.
Saugerties was voted the coolest town in America. Come on, you got to come.
Yeah, keep that under the bushel basket, that light.
Yeah. So the other task that you have, or involvement right now with Rotary, since your RI director is over, is you're chairing the pandemic task force. Talk about that a little bit, and what's the thought process there?
It's the Pandemic Response Task Force. The board passed that at our April meeting. The feeling was that we all knew how we were doing business prior to the pandemic. It was a lot of in-person meetings, it was a lot of in-person events, and it was some virtual connectivity, but not a lot. And everything changed in March, and we went totally virtual, no in-person. We as the board eliminated all travel for staff, volunteers, senior leaders until December of 20. I expect that'll be extended by this board. So the thought was we didn't want to come out of the pandemic, whenever that may be, and just slide accidentally into some amalgam of where we were and where we are. I thought it needed to be a pivot. I thought it needed to be intentional, that we needed to pivot hard. And so the task force was charged by the board to take a comprehensive look at the organization and optimize virtual connectivity. Mm-hmm. And it needs guardrails because you can go overboard.
Oh, yeah.
We can't have all of our committees and everybody meeting every week because
there's a lot of challenges that come to doing that. The in-person thing, I think, is helpful to communication, but we have to do this, right? You recognize we have to do this.
It's a hybrid. So we need a hybrid, the best of where we were and the best of where we are, and come up with that hybrid of virtual and in person. And even when we start to meet in person again, whether it's at a club meeting, whether it's at an international convention, whether it's at a training event, have a hybrid and have a virtual connectivity as part of that meeting. So people that
that's going to allow
get there,
a greater
number of participants. Absolutely.
Bigger gene pool.
There you go. Always a good idea. Always a good idea. Otherwise, you end up with guys like me.
Right.
Oh, look at the gene pool in this room.
You're right.
At least you guys have hair.
Knuckle draggers. But two things. One is I think there's some Rotarians listening, watching. If they want to give a call at 845-331-9255. Lawrence is ready to take the call, speak to Jeffrey, ask a question. Secondly, we appreciate the donation that was just made to
a very large donation by Jeff. Thank you very much.
Fund drive to keep KCR on the air and keep it financially healthy.
Where else could a guy like me say the crap that I say on live radio, right? And get away with that. Yeah.
Right. My mind can't even compute that. I have to get back to you on that, but I will. I don't know where that would be.
There is nowhere else.
Somewhere in the
Sirius XM would be the only other.
You and Howard Stern. We're up to almost $4,700, and you can contribute by going on mykcr.org, our website. You can send a check in to P.O. Box 4364, Kingston, New York, 12402. We're going to set up a GoFundMe page as well. So, we're on our way to getting to our goal, but thank you for contributing today. We appreciate it and being here. in person. We're
Thank
going
you for your volunteering at the Rotary. We're joking.
Yeah.
We're fun guys. We joke around, but it's very significant. It's what makes this country the greatest country in the world, because we don't just offer complaints, we offer solutions, and Rotary is integral in doing that around the world. I know you went to Haiti a couple of years ago, a couple of times. What Rotary does around the world is how you make it leaving the world better than we found it. So thank you for that.
It's how I pay rent on the space that I occupy.
You said that last time, and I thought that was a great statement.
I get more out of it than I put into it, so it's a privilege.
Amen. Yeah. But you got to make a living too, don't you? You need the paying job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Right. Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh, that. So let's talk, real estate.
Nice segue, by the way.
Thank you very much. That's my
Pre-pandemic.
specialty here. Yeah.
He's the Segway king.
Almost
In fact,
like we
he
did
rides
in
a Segway. He is a Segway.
Yeah, I am a Segway.
They don't make them anymore,
Ride me, I'm a Segway.
Yeah. They're out of production.
Oh, man.
That's because they're hideously dangerous.
Right.
Good thing I live 3 hours away.
Orthopedic. Talk about physical therapy. So pre-pandemic real estate, commercial real estate, because Scott's trying to sell his hacienda.
Yeah. Casa su casa.
Right. And where we are today. So talk about globally, because Media Pennsylvania is a bigger marketplace than Kingston, certainly, but just in general terms.
Sure. Well, on the residential side, and I'm a commercial real estate broker, not a residential, but on the residential side, the market is hot because everybody for the past 5 months has been working at home, and they've realized maybe this isn't the place I want to work. And so there's a shift in the market where a lot of people are looking for a home that is better suited for working at home.
Knowing that they may be stuck there again shortly.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Or a home with a bigger yard because the kids are all home. And so there's
a pool now, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a pool.
Well, and you can't buy a boat these days.
Yeah.
Go try to buy a used or a new boat because
can't.
people, I can't go to the shore, I can't do this. Where can I keep my family all together?
Staycation.
On a boat?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the residential side, the market is segmented, but it's hot because there's a shift of people looking. And places at the shore. I mean, if you go, I don't care what shore you go to, Jersey Shore, Long Island.
Skyrocketing properties.
There's not
rentals.
enough product, not enough inventory. You can put your house on the market and sell it a day later.
As you were talking about the shift that Rotary has had to go through with virtual and how you're going to do that back, this is the shift that all of America affected by the COVID is going through.
Exactly.
And nobody wants to be stuck at home with their kids in a 700 square foot walk up in media
my daughter. My daughter sent me the most. Can I?
You can do whatever you want.
It's your half hour,
man. Yeah. I write another check.
You can stay for another half hour.
You got it.
Yeah, right.
You write another check, I'll go with you.
Maria who?
My oldest daughter, Jess. At 1:23 a.m. this morning, sent me this. Just awake and thinking about how lucky I've been to have been raised by you. Miss you.
Oh my goodness!
Drop the phone.
You win.
Are you kidding me?
You just got the blue ribbon for parenting.
That's my. I mean, forget Rotary and real estate. That's my biggest
bottom line.
Bottom line.
And I mean,
that's a keeper. Do not ever put a lock on that thing. Put a lock on that.
Put it on a T-shirt or a tattoo. That's what you want. Huh?
I'm liking the T-shirt.
I'm a smart guy.
I like the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Tattoo. Wait a minute.
Depends where you put it.
Slow your roll.
Depends where you put it. Yeah.
Breathe.
Yes.
Don't breathe.
You need that.
Stop.
Scott, do you know what this is?
No.
Okay, that means in American Sign Language, that means I love you.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, that's a demonstration.
Yeah. I can't. This is my favorite.
I wasn't But my daughter and I, Jess, have done that forever since she was a young girl.
Yeah.
We've done that, and I have a
T-shirt.
She took a wax mold of her hand like
that.
Oh,
cool.
In my house.
Oh, that's beautiful. Good.
What does she do for a living?
Give Kleenex because I'm really.
I'm emotional.
No.
I'm verklempt. I'm verklempt.
Yeah, you can use his shirt.
Use
his black hank.
Like a tissue? Is that why?
No, that handkerchief.
You
gotta wash those things. Launder.
You know who gave this
or at least spray them.
Who gave this to me?
Yeah, yours truly.
Yeah. That's why I wear it. You know, like when you get a shirt that you hate somebody, you only wear it when you see him. It's that's
right.
All right, so On the commercial real estate side, I'm going to bring this back home.
Yeah. Bring it back to
on the commercial
sanity.
real estate side. It's a huge unknown. I mean, there's so much uncertainty, right? We don't know when there will be a vaccine, if there will be a vaccine, how long you'll be protected if there is one.
Right.
But we know that there are people that have 5 and 10,000 and 20,000 square foot offices that are empty right now because everyone's working from home. Google and Twitter say you can work home forever. So what's going to happen to all of that excess capacity? It's $1 million question.
That's a good question.
On the retail side, large mall owners across the nation, they're just sitting there banging their head against the wall.
Oh, our mall has been closed for a couple of years now.
You know, online purchasing, 12% of the American public purchased online before the pandemic.
Right.
And I haven't seen the recent numbers, but it has skyrocketed. And that's not going to go away.
Yeah.
I mean,
because people have learned that it's easier, and companies have learned that they don't have to pay
less costly.
$10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month to lease space, as long as the productivity is equal to or better than what they were getting.
Right.
They just increased
But
the
how do you
bottom line, right?
But how do you repurpose that space?
That's the $1 million question.
I mean, what do you do with that? I mean,
well, it could go residential.
Is that not the logical?
Big malls.
Yeah, isn't that the logical answer if we're short of residences?
It's a logical answer.
Yeah.
It's not the only one. But if you've got these big box like a Sears or a J.C. Penney or a Lord & Taylor who just went under last week, I mean, that could be repurposed to residential. And you could turn it into kind of a town mall, village kind of thing with little retailers.
Medical component.
Could be.
Yeah, but that happened to us. One of the local hospital systems took the Macy's and made it into a surgery, bunch of medical offices, physical therapy.
Here's the time frame, which is interesting to me. I'm 56 years old. I worked at the mall, which is what we call it here, when it was built. I worked on opening up Kmart there.
Yeah.
So I was 17 years old then. At 53, it's over. It's done.
Yeah.
The whole thing is gone. It went like this or like this, hit there, and then gone in one lifetime.
Yeah.
Well, and the sequence was malls almost put little downtowns out of business.
Yeah.
And then malls became that downtown.
Center.
The town center. They built not
That's where
indoors,
we went
but
for
outdoors.
entertainment. Yeah.
I mean, it was an amazing.
But now the shift is going back the other way. We're finding that in where we had dinner last night, uptown Kingston, Front Street, a lot of small boutique shops doing really well. They need parking, and they need the
Kingstonian, thank you.
Which
big
is
local project.
Yeah, big local project. But yeah, you're seeing that folks come back, and maybe we'll see more of that.
Well, by the way, and that's the area where you were last night, where J.C. Penney and Sears Woolworths were previously located.
Smaller
They
places.
all moved to the mall,
right,
and left these empty buildings. So now it's a wasteland up there, and the mall is the place to go.
Yeah.
And now the mall is gone.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to watch over the next 18 months to 2 years to 5 years.
What's your prediction, Jeffrey?
Boy, if I could do that, I would write a
trillionaire.
And I'd be on
This
an
show
island
is
in
being
Fiji.
recorded, so whatever you come up with, we will be able to go back in 5 years from now and say, he said this.
My prediction is it's going to be a rocky road for the next year to two as people try to figure out how to manage all of this excess capacity that's out there, whether it's office, whether it's retail. It won't be manufacturing. I mean, warehouse space is hot right now. And do you know why?
Why?
Because there needs to be places where people can distribute goods for online. Right. So warehouse space.
The Amazon model.
Trucking and warehouse.
Yeah.
For the first time in
huge, man.
The first time in
FedEx.
a decade, people are building warehouses on spec without a tenant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because these procurers have to have
And there's got to be another alternative to Amazon. I'm sorry. They can't be the 9,000-pound gorilla.
Careful, Jeff Bezos will have you killed.
Well, his ex-wife made out pretty good, so...
Your head
bada
bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
It's a billion, 10 billion, 15 billion.
Between lovers.
Between lovers, yeah. What the hell?
But that's an excellent point, and that shift is significant. And what my son worked in New York City. He lived in New York City at an apartment. His office closed in March. They said, you can't come into the office anymore, work from home. After a month of that, he said, why am I paying $3,000 a month for an apartment to work out of? I'm leaving. I'm going to go back to Kingston. And I'll work there where I can have an apartment for $1,200 a month and an office. How is that going to continue? Is that company going to say, you know what, you're doing fine, don't come back?
Well, it's also a tax issue, by the way, because people who, let's say someone who works in Philadelphia, and we're having this problem at Rotary International, challenge, not a problem, challenge.
There you go.
People who are working from home and say, you know, I'm going to go work from home in Florida. Well, we have to withhold taxes in Florida.
It's an accounting nightmare. Right. Yeah.
So the ripple effect of all this is unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you talked about New York City, and it's the same thing in Philadelphia. The roads in those cities were not built for all the delivery vehicles that are delivering all of the online stuff.
Interesting.
And our infrastructure isn't built for it.
Yeah.
So the ripple effect is unbelievable.
You said 2 years. I think this is a 5-year or maybe even a longer, it's a
I think it's
reshuffle.
a forever change.
It's a reshuffle.
I think it's a forever change, with or without. The disease was the catalyst that pushed this. But if I were a CEO and didn't have to rent an apartment or an office in Manhattan anymore and still got my paycheck, I'd never rent it again.
Yeah, it is a forever change. The question is, how far is this shift going to come back? And there's going to be this ripple effect that people are going to have to figure out. Fortunately, there are some smart people in Washington.
Wait, that's an oxymoron. That's an oxymoron.
I have a bad heart. Be careful.
I call BS on that. I'm sorry. Well,
there are no smart people in government.
Let's say there's people. There's people. No, but there are some. You got to give. There are some good ones. They're not all bad.
I'm sorry. The career public servants who serve in every state capital, county capital, our federal capital. Those are the people we should be listening to.
We have about 2 minutes. Lauren said.
I'm not done yet. I'm ready.
Well, keep going. The last 2 minutes.
Please.
The last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes are yours.
Oh, so you want me to keep going?
Yes.
You go back to your daughter if you want.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Well, and so talk about ripple effects. I have a lot of friends with kids in their 20s who are all unemployed and home. Yeah. Now, I love my kids.
Yeah.
But I don't love them home.
But they were home. They left home.
That's why you have them.
Yeah. Right.
So, that's a huge challenge that we're facing right now in this pandemic with back to school, not back to school, childcare, people working from home, and that's what's driving that residential shift. Right? Is you got dogs, people, kids, work, all in a house that isn't suited for that.
It wasn't set up.
But the blessing you talked about kids is that my kids are all employed, all with benefits, all just thriving in this pandemic.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And we're all parents, and that's what we exist for.
Right. Absolutely.
Leave this world better for them, or try to
accomplishment,
anyway.
My biggest task.
And Rotary goes a long way to doing that.
Well, I mean, Tony and I have talked about this. My priorities always have been family, which is kids for me, office, and then Rotary.
Right.
That's the priority.
Right. So you'll come back, whether in person or we'll get you back calling in some regular basis.
Nope,
you're part of the fam.
You're much better in person than on the phone.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's only
scar right here.
It's only
That's gonna leave a scar.
It's only a 3-hour drive in horrible conditions. Horrible conditions.
Yesterday was brutal.
It was bad.
I hope no one was seriously hurt. There was some big thing on northbound the New York Freeway.
Yeah, by the Harriman, south of the Harriman exit, there was some big.
See it in the paper.
North of
the
Sloatsburg.
It'll be in 2 days.
Yeah, right.
I was 50 minutes away, and all of a sudden, Waze switched to 2.5 hours away.
Oh,
bad.
I went across the median. Oh, I hope they're right.
We'll have you choppered in next time. We'll use some of our corporate money and have you helicoptered in next time.
Yeah, we got the fundraiser money. We'll take all $4,700 and get Bailey out. Jeffrey Cadorette, thank you for being on with us. It's always
very nice to meet you, sir.
Delightful.
Thank you.
It's a lot of fun and very informative. We're looking forward to Jennifer Jones. Maybe coming on the air with us sometime. Maybe
in person,
call in
studio, please, in studio. We'll have her helicoptered in as well.
Right. All right. Safe travels home. Thank you. Love you. Yeah, and you know the rest of it. Okay. Right. Lawrence, take it away.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
top of first-class care, you will never receive a bill. The only thing we had to worry about was just keeping Azalea comfortable. St. Jude saved her life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
A message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare.
There's pain that does not stop.
I feel trapped by migraine.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
I feel like I'm dying.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Central Hudson reminds you that summer thunderstorms can strike with strong, gusty winds, knocking down trees and power lines. If you see a downed power line, call 911 immediately to report it. Power lines can carry an electric current strong enough to cause injury or death. Stay at least 30 feet away from a fallen line. Don't try to move it or anything that has come in contact with it. And never drive over a power line. Remember, your safety matters.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? By shifting to a system that gives more patients access to strong primary care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
Hi, my name is Jackie Levezzo. I'm from Lake Katrine, and I support Kingston Community Radio because it is an invaluable resource to the community and its residents.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
All right, folks, we're back. Flash!
Ba-boom!
All right, what's a great half hour?
What a pleasure to meet
Jeffrey.
And by the way,
great.
Talk about beautiful hair.
That guy's got hair like a judge.
Hair, man.
He does.
Wow.
All right, Maria Todaro, you're on the phone.
Absolutely. I've been hearing everything you said about the hair. And
you, by the way, also have.
Absolutely. And I'm like realizing maybe I should brush mine. Hey, guys.
Good morning.
You have a beautiful head of hair, Maria.
You have beautiful hair, too.
Let's talk about my hair, gentlemen. Absolutely.
Has it ever been short? Has it ever been short? As much as I've known you, it's always been like shoulder length.
Shoulder length? The quarantine cut now is like down to the floor. It's more from the Yeti to causing it, you know.
The quarantine cut.
Oh man, I missed your voices.
We miss having you. We wish you were here in studio with us.
Right.
But for those of our folks listening, I don't think there's anyone in the world that doesn't know who Maria Todaro is. But for the one or two people who don't, she is a world famous opera singer.
Right.
Who has blessed us with her presence in Phoenicia.
And
the founder of Phoenicia Festival of the Voice.
Got it.
Which is a phenomenal event that happens every year. I don't know. Is it going to happen this year?
You know, it's yes and no. It's very interesting.
Yes and no.
Thank you for this beautiful presentation. And well, the festival as we had planned it, of course, is not happening. And it's not happening in Phoenicia. But, you know, when everything happened and all our lives were so affected and all the theaters closing and leaving, you know, millions of artists jobless, still jobless because theaters are still closed and won't reopen soon until we have a vaccine. So we had to do something, and we were thinking, well, we are an outdoor event in a beautiful area, the Catskills, the mountains, nature. So we were thinking that maybe if we had a solid proposal that we could submit with CDC compliance and very solid COVID-19 protocols that would make, people feel super safe, our artists safe, our staff safe, the patrons safe, maybe we could still do something at the end of August. So in April, we proposed to present an opera, of course, because that's mainly what we do, but an opera, but a live performance of the opera Tosca, but drive-in style. Meaning, people are in their car, there will be live performance like singer, there will be a fully staged opera, one of the most incredible, written music, Italian written music, will be presented on stage with fully. We have a simulcast team that will capture, of course, the action is on stage on 2 jumbotrons. We have 4 jumbotrons, 20 by 50,
wow,
30
impressive
in the air. This will happen now. So that was a very simple question, and I'm making a very long answer.
No. Because
where is it going to occur, Maria? Where physically is it going to be?
It's going to be at Tech City. Do you guys remember Tech City?
Right.
Enterprise Drive. That was the IBM, former IBM site.
I don't even think we can call it Tech City anymore. It's now property of Ulster County.
Yeah,
but,
Untech City.
Is that is that true? I had this fantasy of calling it like Art and Tech City.
Perfect.
That's better.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea.
I'd rather just call it Art City and drop the tech.
To bring it down there, that's going to expand the ability of people to come and see it.
Right.
Oh, and what is the date?
The date is August 29th. In these 2 weeks, I'm already having my artists coming, and it's been basically cramming the work that normally someone would do in 2 years in 3 months. And we've been, the community has been incredible. We work so hard with so many people in an environment where it's impossible to raise money on top of it.
Right.
I think everybody wanted to see anything happen that is super safe. And most importantly for us, it's more than an act of resilience in the performing arts who are so destroyed right now.
Yeah, exactly.
We performers can't make a living if we don't have a stage. There's this
so difficult.
I've suffered, but you can still do takeout. We can't.
Right.
We don't have that kind of. So we had to. Performing is the only way performers can survive, and this is, the dedication of a lifetime where you spend 8 to 12 hours a day working hard to deliver something of excellence. People don't realize the amount of hours. This is not a hobby. This is a livelihood, so livelihood. So it's interesting. We had to what I love sharing with you guys today is, first of all, that, this is unique. We're the only one in the U.S. that present an opera this way, and that's going to be from our ground. This is a historical moment in the in the world of opera.
We hope it gets well covered. By the way, we hope it gets well covered by the media and so to promote it. And obviously, I know you've been on other radio stations. You're going to be on the Italian show Sunday again, right?
Yeah,
I think Yahoo.
Can't wait.
And so, but this is historic, and I think about the logistics of pulling this off, and how do you rehearse, and how does all that happen, Maria?
Lots of prayer, lots of dance of the rain, lots of
right.
It's a touch of craziness. No, we've been doing this for 11 years, like putting events together, but never like that. I mean, come on, this is so far beyond. It's a very you're right. It's very heavy tech. Presentation that we never had jumbotrons, camera that's gonna put. So, I'm to answer your question. We, step by step. First we had to define what the heck are we gonna do.
Right.
We can't. So the idea of a drive-in came from another idea, which we will actually, I'm so proud that from our ground of Ulster County and here, we are launching this into the world. And I'm very serious. We're the third in the world to present an opera drive-in.
That's
And
fantastic.
the first one in the U.S. And there's a little surprise. There's many surprises, but we needed to show something, and we needed to create a model that in case of another pandemic or continuity, we can actually creatively still present live performance.
Right.
In a very
Maria, where
safe
can
way.
people who might be listening who want to go get information about this?
Purchase tickets.
Buy tickets. So online or phone numbers. Where is that located?
Thank you so much for asking this. It's PhoeniciaVoiceFest.org.
PhoeniciaVoiceFest.org. Good.
Yes, PhoeniCia.
Oh, Phoenicia, common spelling. Yeah.
Spell it phonetically.
It's a mouthful.
I have to
Phoenicia
say
voice.
that many years ago at the Italian Fest downtown, I met Maria, and having not been a fan of opera because I had not been exposed to opera at that level, I was milling around and met Maria, wonderful, very happy to become friends. And then all of a sudden, this voice comes over the speakers, and it's mesmerizing, it's enchanting, it's mesmerizing. And the entire Gallo Park, hundreds or thousands of people really, are silent and turn to look and see where this is coming from. And what you did, Maria, was make an opera lover out of me. I have become a huge Andrea Bocelli fan, and listen to that in my car. I find it the most soothing music I have ever experienced.
Oh my goodness.
I find peace in the music. I'm able to release all of the day's troubles and get lost in the
little
voice.
hard to
It is hard to do.
Nothing like a little murder, rape, and tragedy to do that
Yes,
to you.
exactly.
You're right.
And let it
I'm
release.
so touched.
And
So touched by your words.
those children, Hoban.
Oh
right?
yeah, Andrew Hoban and Olivia Hoban. Yeah, they're amazing.
What amazing voices they have.
Yeah.
They're in my show.
Yes.
Of course,
Are they in?
my show.
Are they
All
in the show?
local talent are in there. Yeah, they're going to be in the Tosca.
Wow. Okay, that's
yes,
amazing.
Absolutely. And we took, every single resources that we could, talent and anybody that could be part of the team, part of the adventure with us, has jumped in and said, absolutely, we want to be part of this. This is history. This is incredible. Guys, I wanted to tell you something. We're going to experience a little virtual volumetrics reality. We have worked, the driving idea was motivated by safety, but what really, really motivated us safety-wise was to create an opportunity to present opera virtually, online, but in a way that's never been done. So we start talking to new partners in the video game development. And at the event of the 29th of August, Saturday 29th of August, when we present our live performance of the Opera Tosca, you will have a little taste, a little teaser of what the future of performing arts can be.
Oh, well.
Presented by a video game designer. So we just recorded our villain, Scarpia, into what we call volumetrics. It's extraordinary. It's in the green room. And basically, this is all I'm going to say, but the end of Act 1 is not to be missed.
Excellent.
Okay.
Now we have a
Okay.
teaser. You didn't need another reason to go, but now you have one.
So I'm on the website, and the performance starts at 8:30. But what time would you suggest people get there? When will the gates open?
The gates opens around 5.
Around 5. Okay.
But it's a long time to stand there. The thing is, we have our partner, the Green Palette. Fabulous local vegan organic cuisine. You can pre-order and have a little picnic.
That's
in the park.
Giovanni Barbaro.
Giovanni Barbaro. Mm-hmm.
Barbaro
And
and
she says it way better.
I know. She says it the right way.
Says it way
Because
better.
she's Sicilian.
Yeah.
And so is Benedetta, right? Benedetta is Sicilian as well. Barbara.
Yeah. What you can do is you come there, you can pre-order your food with them, and someone will deliver the food to your car. And then during the show, you can also do that. You can also order. He has 2 or 3 items. If you go to the website, you'll see the link. So you can also be delivered to your car some food. I think that to answer your question, if you come a good hour before, just to smoothly set up, and there will be some entertainment on the screen to make you patient,
So there's options. If you go on the website, there's options. It's a per car ticket price. And obviously front and center are, just like in any performance, are more expensive than the nosebleed seats. Sure. So
that's right. It's exactly like in the theater. When
if you want to go way up the top, you're going to pay less. If you're going to be right in front and see everybody sweat, you can pay more. Right. And so that's a per car. Or if you can attend, be there in person, you can make a donation to Phoenicia Festival of the Voice, which is a 501c3 organization. There's a donate button or a purchase ticket button, PhoeniciaVoiceFest.org. It's very well done. There's a little video which I didn't watch yet, but I will watch. And the website is extremely well done. And it explains everything just fantastically. So,
but based on past experience, the festival is also well done. If you haven't attended it or experienced it, it's very hard to explain. But this is a professional opera production.
Oh yeah, this is no joke.
In a field in Phoenicia.
Well, in a parking lot.
But I mean, it's all over.
Yeah.
And so what do you expect? You expect a little music festival, great, I've been up to them 1,000 times. That's not what you get with this. Maria, give a little bit of your professional background. I mean, these are professional musicians in the world of opera.
They are the creme of the creme. The Joyce Alcuri sang, the Artowska not only is absolutely stunning, but she really literally sang in all the major stages of the world, and I'm not making an exaggeration. Her biography is there. You can see that she was, Covent Garden, Metropolitan Opera, San Francisco. This is really a superstar. We're very, very blessed to have her. She loved, our superstars are. This COVID-19 has been very equalizing from, beginner singers to superstars. We're all jobless. So it has been incredible to attract beautiful talent like Kyle Albertson, Joyce Alcuri, now Jonathan Tettleman, those Ed Washington that sang Porgy and Bess at the Met.
How about Dimitri? Is it Pitas?
Dimitri Pitas has been replaced yesterday by Jonathan Tettleman.
Okay.
And we just made the announcement. This is not a problem at all. We just made and I'm actually glad you're talking about him. We made the announcement this morning.
Okay, it's brand new.
We just shifted the if it's still on our website, then it has to be changed.
Yeah, I'm reading on the website right now.
Yes, I will. This is there is absolutely nothing problematic between us and Dimitri. It's just that he lives in South Carolina.
Wow.
So we had problems with the challenge of the quarantine, and we had to make decisions based on what was making the more sense for him and his family and for us. This was an unfortunate, the unfortunate circumstances are not nor, his responsibility nor ours. And so we had to it was for the best to not have Dimitri coming, it's simply because he lives in South Carolina and they would not have been enough time.
They won't let him come back if he comes to New York. That's the problem. They won't let him come back to South Carolina.
But it's the quarantine.
He's going to have to live in Tech City for the rest of his life.
But I want to make
be in Tech City for the rest of his life. Yeah.
I want to make the point that what an incredible opportunity. There are people who are listening who say, I've never really listened to that. I don't like. Here's the fans like, I don't like Fish. I don't like opera. Well, you know what? You've never heard opera.
Yeah, right.
You've never had Fresh Fish. You've never heard real opera, live opera. You're thinking about what you saw on TV 50 years ago in a movie. Cool. please take the opportunity this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many people to see world-renowned opera singers performing for next to nothing in your backyard. And I urge anybody who's listening to take the opportunity to go and see this. You will not be disappointed.
It says imagination becomes reality.
I will give you your ticket price back. If you tell me you went, you show me your ticket, you went and you didn't like it, I'll give you your ticket price back. You will love this show.
May I just add that we are going to do a little experimentation on stage about social distancing staging, which is very interesting with an opera that is based on rape and murder. So murder, you can get away with it. The rape, social distancing.
From a distance.
So it's been a very interesting challenge. So Tosca is set in Italy, at the beginning of the century of 1800, and it's really one of the most dated opera. It's like the 4th of June, 1800, Napoleon invaded the north of Italy, and it's all in 24 hours. It's a very intense story that is set in 24 hours, that particular day of the invasion of Napoleon. So you can't really, get out of the geographical and historical context of the story, but to respect social distancing, we bring in the whole thing into a sci-fi setting. We're going to be in another planet. Wow. There's going to be special effects. The villain has Magneto-like power, can do stuff with beam of energy coming out of his hand.
Okay, this is really interesting.
So, it's a
big risk, isn't it, though, Maria? It's a big risk for you to take on this. This is a great opportunity. And you're to be commended for taking the risk to make this happen. Not that running the festival in Phoenicia is easy, but once you're at year number 12 or 13, you got it down. You know what to do.
Right.
You've taken that whole thing and moved it and created a whole new venue and scenario. That's a big risk. So I hope and pray that it pays off for you.
And gentlemen, if I'm not dead after that, from the 30th of August, I'm not completely dead. I swear to you, I miss you so much. I want to have wine and, celebrate our health and,
So you have to come on.
We live in.
You have to come on post performance, and once we know what a huge success it is, we'll come on, have you come on and do a post performance recap of what of how it went.
We hope the sales are encouraging. Are they picking up? Are they moving forward, Maria?
You mean forgive me, the
purchase?
Picking up
tickets. Yeah, tickets.
Yes.
Good.
Actually, I would urge people. Yes, they are.
Good.
It's a little intimidating. I'll confess that the safest way and the most smoothest way, and I apologize in advance to our patrons that think that they want to buy at the last minute. This will be. I would urge everybody to buy online.
It will be
right now. For instance, there's already sections that are completely sold out.
Yeah, that's great.
The best section usually go faster. There's still some, but I will urge people to buy their ticket today. The other thing is that there will be 2 lines. Yes, the prepaid ticket line and the ticket, to purchase
at the door,
line.
So to speak. Yeah.
But at the door. But the thing with at the door is like if you have hundreds of cars, it might make the operation a little more challenging. We prepared for that. We're preparing our logistic and our teams for that. But I think everybody will have a better experience if you just go into the prepaid. We scan you. Nobody touches nothing. We color coded the aisle. Maybe it's a stupid organization, but that's all we could think of. And I think it would make the operation smoother if people come already with their purchase ticket.
Buy early, arrive early. Yeah. Buy early, arrive early. Get yourself in place for a show that I bet you will be talking about for months to come. The Phoenicia Festival of the Voice not going to be in Phoenicia this year. Going to be in what was formerly known, like Prince, the area formerly known as Tech City.
Yeah. Right in the town of Ulster.
In the town of Ulster, right off Route 209, super easy to get to.
Big parking lot.
Very easy.
Big stage.
Give the website again, please, Maria.
The website is PhoeniciaVoiceFest.org.
PhoeniciaVoiceFest.org. And you can Google how to spell Phoenicia. Or you can spell it Phoenicia with a PH.
Right.
Phoenicia.
Yep.
Yes.
So, Maria, all cars are created equally. So if I bring in like a little 2-seater MG, or Scott brings in a Ford Econoline van.
Yeah.
Are those
17 of my closest friends?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
if you
pretty
come
much
with a truck, we
yeah. Well,
we have specific places. We have specific places for bigger cars, smaller cars.
All right, good.
It's gonna be. It's not a perfect science, and
no.
This is our first time too. So I'm not.
Right.
I would like to say, we got you completely covered. We have a plan. Well, it's going to be a little bit of a intuitive placement too. If you're big, maybe we're not going to put you just in front of a poor little Fiat Uno.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have a pickup.
This will be the wave of the future.
There's a little bit of thinking. Yeah, there's a system behind that.
Bring your pickup truck, put a couple lawn chairs in the back, bring a cooler full of wine. And I guess you don't put wine in a cooler, do you?
Make sure you have a DD. Make sure you have a DD.
Unfortunately,
have a designated driver.
Forgive me for breaking your bubble, but
no alcohol, huh?
Nobody would be invited to.
Have a pop before you go. Just have a pop before you go.
So hopefully the weather is going to be beautiful, and people with convertibles can drive their convertibles and put the top down and see the beautiful night sky and the show. It's going to be amazing with the high-tech piece, right? Yeah. It's got a high-tech piece, which is going to be amazing.
And thank you, Maria, for taking the time to come on and talk to us this morning.
Thank you.
I miss you, and look forward to seeing you soon right after.
Say hi to Louie, please.
Me too.
All right.
Say hi to Louie.
Thanks for calling in. Have a great day.
Of course. Thank you for the opportunity.
All the best.
Lots of love, and see you very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. God bless.
Apologies to George, who called, but we didn't get him on the air, and George is my favorite
I know.
A listener and a huge supporter of the
KCR.
KCR. So George, forgive us. We wanted to get Maria on there because I think this is a big deal. I think that this shift, as we talked about before, these businesses and events.
What Jeffrey was talking about.
What Jeffrey was talking about, being able to shift how we've done it so that we can still do it again in the future is so significant. And kudos to Maria and her staff and the festival.
Very courageous.
To not just say, like everything else has been, all right, it's canceled. All right, we canceled it.
Right.
Not having it. Can't have it. They didn't say can't have it. They said going to have it, going to do it different, going to do it better.
Right.
And that's not for them. That's for the people who live here.
Yeah. That's a
so
big undertaking.
They can come and enjoy this. It's really important.
So.
And it's really important to support that.
All right, support KCR as well, right?
We need your money.
We need your money, but we're getting there little by little, 100 by 100.
Yeah, we're almost to $5,000 now with Jeffrey's donation.
Jeffrey's donation was very kind.
Yeah.
What a great guy. Enjoyed me. Knew right away he was a cool beans,
cool cat.
Man.
He's a cool cat.
Cool beans there. Love it.
All right, Lawrence, thank you.
Thank you. I don't want to forget to say
God bless America.
To Mrs. Pagano.
Tony, are you off next week?
Mrs. Pagano.
No.
Mrs. Pagano listens to me all the time, and her grandkids call her Mima. But Mrs. Pagano, thank you for listening.
Yes,
we love you and we appreciate you.
Thanks to all our listeners and supporters, our underwriters, and make Kingston Community Radio great.
God bless you, and God bless this great nation.
Thank you for sharing the morning with us and participating in Kingston Community Radio, KCR. AM 920 and 92.5 FM WGHQ, and our live streaming on mykcr.org. Join us each weekday morning from 7 to 9 a.m., and until the next show, we wish you every success in growing and developing Kingston and all our neighboring communities. We now return you to Real Country Radio.
And my shoes are not accustomed to this hard